Starting off this video with a very quick reminder that my book, The Teen LGBT, is available to pre-order in a wonderful little paperback. Oh, look, easier to transport in a backpack, and yes, wonderful. If you would like to go pre-order one, then the link is in the description box. Shabra and I are also doing a little UK tour about the book, so go click the link in the description box as well if you want to check out which cities we are coming to and if you want to join. Hey Spuds, it's Jamie. Welcome back to another video. First on the channel, I don't know, but welcome either way, and I'm very glad to have you here because today is a classic, one of my favorites to do on the channel. I am moderately extremely biased on this topic because I am trans, and today is all about trans memes. Of course they're one of my favorite things in the world. Why wouldn't they be? These are the wholesome, relatable, funny, happy trans memes that we're going to be looking at right now. I'm looking forward to it. Let's go. Me trying to fit in with cis guys. Oh dear. For me, the answer would just be, I'm not doing a very good job. What's up, fellow guys? How we all manning today? What's up in the, I was gonna say Bronaverse, but that sounded a bit like My Little Pony something. Yeah, it's an interesting concept. This is mostly true for like quite stereotypical cis het guys that I often just feel uncomfortable around. If I don't know a guy and they are cis and straight and they don't know I'm trans, for some reason in my experience just the weirdest stuff comes up that I have to pretend I can relate to, like accidentally farting at a urinal, and I'm like, yeah, so awkward. Just doing a little toot whilst you're weeing. It does kind of feel like a what's up fellow guys situation. I have very limited number of cis straight friends. I'm really trying to think because I don't want to forget anyone and be rude, but I may only have one. Wow. All of my guy friends are LGBT plus in some way, I think, apart from one. Quite proud of that. What's your gender? Me. Oh, it's a little N with B's on it. NB. And the N is purple and the B's are black and yellow, and oh, isn't that cute? Oh, that's sweet. How clever. It's gonna turn out that this is just the door sign for some kid's room when they're called Natasha and their favorite color is purple. But if this is actually a non-binary person's like room, and if you're non-binary and your name begins with N, triple points for this. Beautiful. Incels and TERFs have a common ground of, I'm obsessed with the genitals of total strangers. They also agree on, to me all women will ever be is a vagina. And they kiss. Smoochy smoochy. The incels and the TERFs. Are they then no longer incels? I don't know. Is it just a state of being, or is it true to the acronym still? It's not an acronym, but the shortening. Yeah, this behavior is gross and weird, whoever's displaying it, right? But I think it's kind of what incels have become known for. However, with TERFs, they're trying to act as if they are completely the opposite. They're like,
we want to stop people being obsessed with genitals, so we're gonna be obsessed and a bit creepy and yay.
And then it's like,
women's rights, woo!
All women are is their bodily functions and reproductive ability.
Not very feminist. Scammers calling multiple times per day at work. No, we don't like, that's annoying. They call me ma'am. I'm assuming this is a trans femme meme. Yes. They gender you correctly. Let the scammers keep calling. Why not? When the person behind the counter calls you young man. Oh, we're happy about this. They immediately apologize and switch to young woman as soon as they hear you talk. This was my life up until testosterone dropped my voice. I was quite fortunate in that I was read as male a lot just day to day before I started hormones. However, if I spoke, no, instantly pronouns got switched and there was often apologies and it was very awkward. I'm like, no, please don't incorrectly correct yourself. This is so uncomfortable, and it's made even more uncomfortable when people make a big deal out of it and they're just like,
I'm so sorry. Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. I can't believe I just did that. Oh my god, that's really embarrassing of me to do. I will never do it again, madam.
No. And it's really awkward because I feel like in that situation, if you correct that type of person, they just start apologizing all over again and getting more awkward, and no way can an interaction carry on after that. But yeah, incorrectly correcting oneself, that's a very awkward thing to come across as a trans person. I feel like unless somebody corrects corrects you, or there's a little sticker with pronouns on that you missed and you've accidentally misgendered somebody, I personally would just roll with the first one you went with, because it's so awkward. Because if you switch partway through, you're significantly more likely to have misgendered somebody because you have now used two different genderings. If they're non-binary, then you've misgendered them twice and not even gendered them correctly. So like, I would just stick with the first choice, because you've got a larger chance of not having misgendered somebody if you just go with one, unless obviously somebody is like, sorry, these are my pronouns, or you know, you see a badge or a pronoun pin or something and realize you've made a mistake. But yeah, very awkward. And if you do decide to change, don't make a big deal out of it. Just be like, terribly sorry, and move on. Terribly sorry, I've never been more British. Terribly sorry, old chap. That could be misgendering. Do not say that. Gender euphoria from normal things. We don't want this. We do not want the euphoria of gender from the normal things. Oh no, what do we want it from? Gender euphoria from being in a room with all my female relatives and realizing I have the nicest hair. That's so specific. Gender euphoria is being in a room with all my male relatives and realizing I have the most leg hair. I think I do. I have the most chest hair. I am the hairiest. Fascinating. I don't know how that happened. My transphobic dad who told me that I should just accept my body. Me on my way to do exactly that by getting HRT. This about transphobes confuses me so much when they're just like,
why can't you just accept yourself for who you are?
and it's like, that's what I did. It's one of the hardest parts, or at least one of the hardest parts I found for me of the whole transitioning process and realizing I'm trans, is accepting myself as a trans person and not having internalized transphobia. Like, I did, and I worked hard to accept myself, and the reason why I'm transitioning is because I accept myself and I want to live as my true self, who I accept. It's such a bizarre argument. Also, where is this from? Because I feel like I have seen this photo of Pedro Pascal used so much, and he looks very different to in other things I've seen him in, and I don't know where this is from. If you know, let me know. Me outgrowing my cis phase. It has happened. Why does everybody say that it's being LGBT plus that must be a phase? Huh? Everybody assumed and told me I was and thought I was cis and straight for my whole life until my mid-teens, but no, I was not. And then the thing that everyone was like,
It's just a phase.
well, not everybody, but a lot of people are like,
It's just a phase.
I have almost been, wow. I have almost been living my life as my true self for nearly as long as things were not right for me. That's really cool. I'm a few years off, but I'm getting there. Oh, that's cool. That's like a fun thing about getting older. There will be a day quite soon when I have been Jamie for longer than I have not been Jamie. That's cool. I still wish I'd outgrown my cis phase sooner. I feel like I did. I feel like I never had a cis phase. People just told me that I was and I needed to be, and I was like, okay, because I don't know any different, because nobody talked about trans things 13, 14 years ago. God forbid it was ever mentioned 20 years ago. 25 years ago would have been great for me to start slowly being introduced to the fact that trans people exist and it's possible to be trans. And then, 20, 22 years ago would have been a perfect time for me to come out myself as a trans person when I was like 8 to 10 years old, and just go from there. That would have been ideal. If trans femmes are pre-E and wear a bra despite being flat due to not having boobs, does that make them artificial? I can't even laugh at this. At a job interview, do you have any acting experience? Me, I acted cis for almost 22 years. Yes, I acted cis for 17 years. I did not do a very good job at it though, so I don't know if that's a good advertising for my acting skills. There we go. Mega trans group. I hope the phobes see all of these trucks that say trans things on them and just feel fear. The only one though, and I swear it must have been sponsored by TERFs, and I see it quite a lot, there is a truck that just says stop trans, massive, all along the side. Why? Why does this exist? Why have I only started noticing it recently? I'm sure it has nothing to do with trans people. It better not. People who say, did you just assume my gender? Trans people, the tiny little slither. Cis people making fun of trans people. Oh, look, this much bigger chunk. And then trans people making fun of cis people making fun of trans people. Honestly, I've never ever heard a trans person in all seriousness say, did you just assume my gender? It is fully a joke that transphobes made up. And I go joke. I say joke very loosely because it's not funny. And the only time it's ever funny is when when it's trans people taking the piss out of the cis people that say this. Conservatives are losing it because Easter and Trans Day of Visibility are on the same day this year. Oh, I remember this. It was both infuriating and hilarious. Essentially, oh, sorry, that was really gross. As we know, there is something called Easter Sunday. I'm sure a lot of you will know, but there is an Easter Sunday. It is something to do with Christ rising. I'm not fully aware. I got taught it in school when I was younger. It's not something I'm interested in. I have forgotten many of the details. But eggs are a big deal on Easter Sunday, right? Also a big deal within the trans community, just saying. That's why we came for Easter Sunday. We wanted all the eggs. It's a different day every year. It is a Sunday in and around springish time, Marchy, April, right? But it is not the same date. Trans Day of Visibility is the 31st of March every single year, and it has been for the past, let me Google it, since 2009. So 15 years it has been on the exact same date every year, different day of the week, whereas Easter Sunday is a different date but same day of the week in and around the same time of year. How in the hell could this have been planned? Why are conservatives losing their shit? Why? It's just so nonsensical, and I feel like I hate it, but I simultaneously love it because it perfectly encapsulates the stupidity of transphobia. It's literally not looking past your own arse to realize that it's not all about you. It's not some big world domination. It's realizing that no, Trans Day Visibility isn't on the 31st of March 2024 because trans people are trying to take away from Easter Sunday and religion and all of this stuff. It's actually, if you look into it, it has been on the 31st of March since 2009. As soon as you realize that, there can be zero argument that trans people are trying to take away from a Christian celebration. But actually, just between us trans people, it was definitely planned. Transphobes are so silly. Jesus showing off his top surgery scars to the boys. Or his top surgery to the boys. Yes, that is exactly what is happening here. Jesus is like, hey lads, look. Very fitting for the previous one. That's where he disappeared off to get top surgery, and then he emerged on Easter Sunday, also known as Trans Day of Visibility, post-top surgery, showing it off to the lads. Yes, honestly, I would not be surprised if some transphobe actually believed that. Your wine is what substantiated? J.K. Rowling visits a cathedral. You need to fix my what mission? J.K. Rowling at the auto shop. There's transmission, transauto, transit. Words beginning with trans. So, okay, here is just a sample of some words that transphobes hate. Translation, transgender. Oh, well, we definitely know they hate that one. Transaction, transportation, transcultural, transgression, transcontinental, I don't know what that one's what does that mean? Translucent, transfer, transduction, transalpine, transferal, that's wrong. Google, that is not trans, that is transformation, transact, transfigured. Didn't J.K. Rowling write about transfiguration? Was that not an entire class in her made-up school? Transcendent, transferee, transatlantic. They cannot take transatlantic flights. Transscience. Transactor. Transphobes be terrified. If you're uncomfortable sharing a public restroom with J.K. Rowling, share this post. Let's broaden it a little bit. If you are uncomfortable with the concept of sharing a bathroom with a TERF, do the ghost emoji. You know, the little boo? Because we're terrified. Terrified. So yeah, if you'd rather share a toilet with a trans person than a TERF, or you just generally wouldn't want to share a bathroom with a TERF, comment the little boo ghost or something similar. Something spooky and Halloween. It can be a pumpkin if you want. Although Halloween is better than transphobes. The people I don't want to share a bathroom with are the ones who are obsessed with who is using the bathroom and seem to be trying to police who uses the bathroom. Why would I want you in the bathroom with me? Get out. No. Also, can I just say, I really generally don't understand this whole bathroom thing, but I had an experience recently that made me just not to get my head around it even further. The whole gender neutral bathrooms. I was at a concert at Wembley Stadium. It's very big. Unfortunately, I needed to pee before the main act started, which means it was very, very busy in the area where the toilets were. The women's toilets were significantly more queued and the queue was moving quite slowly. And so what happened is a lot of the women just went and queued for the men's. They just wanted to pee. They did not care. I feel like if you actually asked a majority of people if they cared, they literally would not care if gender neutral bathrooms were the option, because basically the bathrooms were gender neutral at that point in Wembley Stadium. Lincoln local elections 2024. Meet this person who I'm not going to name because I don't want to give them attention, from the Party of Women. The Party, that's what it's called. She's hoping to claim the Minister Ward seat under the newly established party. This person is wearing a scarf that's the suffragette colours but have also now been taken over by TERFs, and the very famous transphobic t-shirt that is like defining a woman. She came bottom of the poll with just 84 votes. This is not a popular movement. Hold on. Lincoln election results 2024. Oh my god, I just found a video. She says there's only 4 things you need to believe. Right, did she just giggle when she said the word vagina? Wow, I'm so glad I don't agree with those things. I would not want to be represented by this party. I'm trying to find her. So it was Lincoln local elections 2024. If I go on the Lincoln general election results, she's not even on there. She's just literally not there. Labour won with 18,500 votes. So getting 84, I suspect that the votes for her didn't really get much outside of her social circle, potentially.
Let me set up this really transphobic group. 84 votes.
So popular. People really, really want transphobia to be mainstream, don't they? Wow. Reminder, Harry Potter tattoos have a higher regret rate than trans surgeries, and that's very funny, actually. That is very funny, actually. The myth of consensual sex. A trans woman, I consent. A lesbian, I consent. I'm assuming a trans woman and a cis woman. J.K. Rowling, I don't. Isn't there somebody you forgot to ask? It's an interesting commentary for TERFs to have, to think that they have any right to label other people or to say when two people have agreed to do something, and that they have no right to muscle in on that and tell them that it was anything different. So bizarre. Everything about TERF ideology is bizarre. Yeah, I'm trans. Oh, this is just taking me back to primary school PowerPoint presentations, word art. Terribly tired, really tired, absolutely tired, not identifying with my gender assigned at birth. Also, I'm tired, super tired of all of this transphobia. That's why trans people are exhausted all the time, because of the transphobia. The only 2 genders I recognize, lobster, and lobster. Normally I really hate weird bathroom signs, but I kind of like this one. But I don't know where the lobsters. Oh, where do the lobsters go to the toilet? They just needed an extra option there. Women's rights on fire. We need to help. And the trans person over here is helping, and feminists are putting out the flames. Are you going to effing help or not? And the gender critical is saying define woman. Yeah. Yes. The TERFs have noticed. Hashtag I stand against J.K. Rowling. Oh my god, it made me so happy to see this trending. So I stand against J.K. Rowling. 11.7 thousand posts, and I was going through it, and it was like legit people who were like, this is too far. I well and truly stand against J.K. Rowling. Can we please stop giving this TERF a platform? And then under 10% of the posts, TERFs were like, no, I stand with her.
No, Queen JK.
Lesbians naming pet cats. They're looking through the book of names to give your pet cat. Who's spying on them, taking notes? Trans men naming themselves. That's cute. HRT into trans. Oh my god, it's on the way to get the children. That's what the TERFs would say. Yes, this is the ultimate boss battle of the trans vehicles. Which side are you on? Blowhigh, blaha. See, I like blaha, and that is what I started off saying, but I was corrected by multiple Swedish people to tell me it is blowhigh. So now it is all hail the mighty blowhigh. I am definitely on the side of blowhigh rather than blaha, but I respect that blaha is quite fun to say. Ban this flag to protect our children. It's the progress flag, because for some reason right-wing people think that trans issues and LGBT plus things are harmful to children, and it's really bizarre that they think that. Things that would actually protect children, banning child marriage and child labour would protect me, actually, as would protecting the environment I have to live in, funding public schools so all kids can get a great education, and making sure my parents and I have access to healthcare. Off. That is actually what it feels. It feels there's so similar. There's so many parallels between transphobes using women's rights as an excuse to be transphobic and transphobes using like protecting children as a right to be transphobic, because it's all just trying to pick on like social issues and things that will make people in society empathize and be like, oh my god, yeah, we should protect these marginalized groups, and at the same time that they'll be like,
yes, we need to stand against these trans activists to protect our children and protect women.
They are villainizing trans people, stripping away the fact that trans people are also a marginalized group within society, as are women, and children deserve protecting from a lot of things that they're not protected from yet, making trans people the villains and the ones that are hurting these other people, when that's not what's happening. And actually trans rights and awareness of trans people and awareness of transitioning and access to trans appropriate healthcare does not harm women, and it does not harm children. It actually helps trans kids, it helps trans women, and it has no hindrance or negative effects on cis kids or cis women. It really doesn't make sense, other than when you realize it is all just transphobia. But then when you actually see these are all the things that would protect women, these are all the things that would protect children and help with the fight towards equal rights and everything, they have no interest. Literally, TERFs go silent whenever things like abortion rights, Roe versus Wade, where were the TERFs? Did they make an outcry? No, they were too busy teaming up with anti-abortionists who are also transphobic, because all they care about is transphobia. They don't care about women's rights. They could at least pretend to try and make their argument seem more valid and give it a little bit more substance. Then it's as flimsy as candy floss in water, it just disappears. Trans characters, cis writers, oh dear, I'm so progressive. Let's write in a trans character and give them the most horrifyingly difficult, sad, traumatic, ridiculous storyline.
Ta-da! We did our part. They were on screen for 72 seconds.
It is getting slightly better, but there is still the trope of like killing off the LGBT plus characters really early, or giving them really, really sad, difficult lives and journeys and stories. And I think there's definitely a way to incorporate the real, genuine hardships and inequalities that LGBT plus people deal with within society, whilst also showing the more positive side and the fact that LGBT plus people can be happy and can find love and family and friendship and have good jobs. And all of this stuff is very true for a lot of LGBT plus people, but all we ever really see is the most extreme versions of difficulty. And I'm not saying we should never see those, but it's not all we should see. We should also just be seeing like passive representation as well, and just trans people and gay people and everybody who's LGBT plus just living their lives and thriving rather than not even surviving. My friends trying to help affirm my gender using she they pronouns for me like I asked. It's duct tape over a massive crack. Every other aspect of my life giving me dysphoria. Oh, I'm sorry. Dysphoria sucks. It doesn't suck forever. It does get easier, and I wish every trans person dealing with dysphoria right now a quick and smooth journey to reducing that as much as possible and doing what you need to do and being able to feel as comfortable as possible in your own body, because that is what trans people deserve and that is all trans people want in life. I just so wish that for every trans person to come true. Me tries to type trans femme, phone autocorrects to transfer. Me now, I guess. I pay in trans, the trans card, the credit card of the transes. I support our trans peeps. A peep's those marshmallow things. I have never tried a peep. I've probably tried something that tastes very similar to a peep, but never a peep. Also, sorry, I just got distracted. I remembered I have a blowhigh. Can you see him? Right there. Little blowhigh blaha. I am not a queen. I am not a king. I am a monarch. Oh, is monarch a gender neutral term for a royal person? Wow. That's cool. Why are they possums? And why is there an O in front of the word possum? Possums. Trans people in the UK. Okay. HRT. Can conservatives. Oh, it's so true. It's painful. It's not just trans people in the UK, it's trans people generally, but specifically like conservatives as in the Tory party. Oh my God, awful. Access to gender affirming healthcare for trans people, particularly trans kids, but trans people of any age, is absolutely abysmal in the UK right now. Even if you're able to get on a wait list for HRT, it's years before a first appointment with a majority of NHS clinics. Like we're talking like 5 years for some places, and that's last time I looked, and they just seem to be getting longer. For kids, I mean, like under 18s wouldn't even really get HRT, and definitely not under 16s in the UK regardless, but like even just accessing gender affirming care generally in terms of like speaking to specialists, help and support socially transitioning, and help and support with family, and just like having somebody to talk to who specializes in trans topics and knows things and can then get you referred through for puberty blockers, and when you're old enough, HRT. That's just not happening for trans kids at the minute. Big sucky. Me seeing cool name, why didn't my parents name me that? Me a minute later remembering that I chose my own name. Honestly, I don't regret choosing the name Jamie. I do like the name Jamie. I do personally think it suits me, but sometimes I hear of a name and I'm like, that is such a cool name. Oh my God, why am I not called that name? And then the only person I can be annoyed at is myself. So I'm like, oh my God, I had the opportunity to choose. I could have been called anything. I could have had any name, and I chose Jamie. No regrets. I do like it, but still, anything. And talking of anything, that is everything for today's video. That didn't really make sense. As a quick reminder, if you want to pre-order my book, The TNLGBT, in a lovely little transportable paperback, then you can using the link in the description box, which will also show you in the direction of some links where you can get some tour tickets to come see Sharba and I on tour, talking about the book, answering your questions, doing a little meet and greet and book signing as well. And yeah, we're going to be definitely in Birmingham, Bristol and Leeds, but other dates are soon to follow. So go click those links with all stuff book related. Woohoo! Thank you so much for listening to me waffle. If you like this video, think about giving it a thumbs up and subscribing, but no pressure if you don't want to. Go leave a comment down below as well. Don't forget to do the little ghosty boo or the Halloweeny spooky something if you would really not want to share a public bathroom with a TERF. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Much love. Bye.